Good morning, Lon, and good morning, Carl. Welcome to the meeting. I was just telling the Spanish speakers that thanks to Uruguay's support and generosity, this meeting will have English interpretation. So that Lonnie and Carl and Darwin, when he joins, and any other English speaker, all you guys have to do is once the meeting starts at 1:30, go to the bottom right of the screen, and there's a little globe there, and it says interpretation. So if you click that, you'll get two languages, Spanish and English. Click on English, and you should be listening to the interpreters as they translate whatever we say in Spanish. And
Muchas
likewise,
gracias.
de nada, and gracias. And likewise, when it's your turn, the Spanish speakers will have the choice of going there and clicking Spanish and listening to the interpretation of you. So we hope to establish this as a norm in CIP meetings, so that our English-speaking participants can be there. So
I take this opportunity to introduce Carlos Arturo Bueso as the port authority from Honduras. He's the president of the National Port Company. And he is the general manager of the National Port Company and the president of CICIP.
I was just telling them that I'm going to introduce Dr. Carlos Arturo Bueso as the new chair of CICIP, because he is now the general manager of the Empresa Nacional Portuaria of Honduras, and he has a ministerial rank, so he should be addressed as Mr. Minister, I guess. ¿Nos escuchan en Honduras?
Can you hear us in Honduras? Yes, it is a pleasure to greet you from Puerto Cortes, from the National Port Company. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much, Doctor. And because it is 1:30 here and 2:30 in Uruguay, I would like to check that everybody's here. Barbados is here, Mexico, Paraguay, Argentina, Uruguay, Honduras, United States, and so now we have the necessary quorum to start with our meeting. I hope you all got a copy of the script that was sent by Monse in order for us to be able to follow this meeting. And right now I will give the floor to Mr. Curvelo so we can officially start this meeting. And of course, I would like to welcome Austaino, the National Port Authority from Panama. And probably you know everybody here. Probably you know Admiral Valdez, you know Munoz Mena from AMP, you know Captain Batista from Mexico, General Coordinator of Ports and Merchant Marines, Mr. Branch from Barbados, from the United States, and most of us are here. So Juan, you have the floor so you can formally start this meeting. Thank you, everybody, again. Now, can you try now? Yes, of course. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the first Vice President of the Executive Committee of the Inter-American Committee on Boards, it is a pleasure for me to welcome you all, members of CECIP, to our 12th general meeting. We thought it was going to be in person, but it had to be canceled, and we are now on Zoom. But we're hoping to be able to meet soon in person, that we hope will take place in Uruguay. As you know, this is going to be an executive meeting. We're going to make important decisions in terms of reports, budgets, changes in regulations, and decisions about the next meetings that we are going to have in the CIP and the executive committee. In the plenary sessions. I would like to welcome you all and to give the floor to Jorge Duran. He is the president of the Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee on Boards. So as to make sure that we're working with the right procedures, and Mr. Duran will welcome you all. Thank you, Juan. It is a pleasure to see you all. I hereby confirm you that we have the right quorum to start with our meeting. I have mentioned the participants. We have representatives from Argentina, Honduras, Uruguay, Mexico, United States, Panama, Paraguay, Barbados. So I think that we are all here. We only need representatives of Antigua and Barbuda. Mr. Marquez told me that it was possible that he could not make it. And of course, I would like to welcome you again and to thank you all. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to make some announcements. First of all, I would like to thank you for your commitment, dedication, and trust to the CIP. I would like to thank the technical team, the interpreters, and the ANP, and to thank the Secretariat, especially Monse and Beris, that have worked very hard for us to be able to have this meeting. Similarly, I would like to recognize Mr. Minister Carlos Alberto Bueso, General Manager of the Honduras National Port Company, and the President of this executive body of the CIP. I would like to say that Mr. Bueso was recently appointed, and he has made a significant effort together with Mr. Franco Milese to be able to come to terms with all the information and attend this meeting. So Dr. Bueso, thank you very much for your participation. Welcome to CECIP. I remind you that we have simultaneous interpretation, and you just need to raise your hand if you have questions or comments. And I would like to remind you that we will be approving or adopting reports that you have already approved individually, but we need to move on with the protocol and approve them anyway. So this is what I wanted to say. So I will give the floor back to Juan Curvelo as the first Vice President of CECIP. Thank you, Jorge. We will now then formally start our opening session in order to adopt the contents and the schedule. You probably received all the documents that were distributed on February 1st, 2022. So I would like to ask the different delegations if you have comments or questions about the documents that were distributed to you. I think Ruben Valdez had a question. Yes. Thank you, Juan Corbelo. A pleasure to greet you. We received the documents and we agree and we have no comments. Thank you. So we have no comments in Paraguay. Thank you. Any other delegation that would like to say anything? If not, we will take it as approved. I think that we can take all the documents as approved and adopted by us. So if there are no further comments about the documents that were distributed before, then we will take them all as approved. Let's move on then with the agenda. And regarding the documents, let me remind you that the final version of the documents were sent by the Secretariat with the objective of so that you could analyze them and read them. And I would like Argentina, United States, Peru, and Uruguay have sent their approval to the document. So if there are no further objections, we can now take our official photograph of the chiefs of delegation. So please turn on your cameras so we can take our official picture. Thank you. Yes, we need here Dr. Hueso, Elvia, Mexico, Carl Branch, Lonnie, and the team of the Secretariat should not be included in the picture. So I'm not very good at technology, but probably the team has already thought about how to take this picture. Yes, if you are all ready, I will count to 3 and we will take our picture. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you all. We're ready then. Thank you. I hope we we were able to take a good picture then. So let's get started. This is the first plenary session, the executive report of the progress made by the CECIP chair and the different advisory groups within the framework of the Buenos Aires Action Plan 2021-2023. Now we will hear the presentation of the report, so I will give the floor to the presidents of the technical advisory groups. They will present 2 executive reports. We hope that this reporting session of the technical advisory groups within the framework of CECIP and within the action plan are approved unanimously. Because we have a long meeting with many interventions. I would like to tell you to please take 5 minutes and not more than that. And so I would like to repeat what Jorge said, that is not to take more than 5 minutes per delegation. So I would like you to please respect that time so that we don't go any further than 5 minutes. Our colleagues from Honduras are not here? Yes, yes. I just welcome Mr. Carlos Bueso, that he has the ministerial rank, and he's a member of the National Port Company. So I would like to welcome him and the delegation of Honduras that is represented by Mr. Carlos Arturo Bueso, Minister General Manager of the National Port Company. Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here. I would like to tell you that I am a doctor, I'm a plastic surgeon, so it's kind of weird that I'm here, but I would like to tell you that I took this challenge very seriously. I've been here for 7 years. I would like to read the executive committee's report. Within the framework of the Buenos Aires Plan 2021-2023, we set as an objective to make progress towards competitive, safe, sustainable, and inclusive ports in order to ensure the comprehensive development of the Americas within the private sector. In order to meet the objectives of the Buenos Aires Action Plan, and with the efforts made by the chair of CIP, represented by Honduras, they were dedicated to different activities towards the strengthening of the human and institutional capabilities to facilitate the dialogue and technical assistance, supporting the CIP OAS actions within the presidency. We proposed initiatives for the management and uh, operational activities of the committee and the CIP secretariat before OAS. And within this framework, we can mention these actions: the changes of the CIP regulation, the maintenance of the organizational web page, portal CIP, and the preparation of the working plans 2022-2023 on behalf of each one of the advisory group's presidents. Next, we will describe the activities carried out. The president would like to thank the support received by Mr. Jorge Duran and his team. The first CECIP Vice President, Mr. Juan Curvelo del Bosco, and the representatives of the permanent mission in Uruguay and Honduras before OAS, Alejandra Castineira and Maria Fernanda Pineda, respectively. The strengthening of the human and institutional capacities. The National Port Company of Honduras would like to congratulate the advisory technical committees, authorities that have contributed to the strengthening of institutional capabilities through in-person and online or hybrid courses. Especially, we recognize the efforts of the National Ports Authority of Peru, because they facilitated the training of the port officers of the hemisphere through the virtual port campus and the Port Training National Center, and to Argentina because they facilitated the training of port personnel of the hemisphere. B, facilitation of political dialogue among public and private authorities. The National Port Authority has participated in the CIP meetings, in the ordinary meeting, and it was elected as president of CECIP in the 2021-2023 period. Honduras was elected. Also, the ENP participated in the webinar, Strategic Actions for a More Inclusive and Efficient Port Sector, on June 22nd, 2021, in collaboration with the Women Shipping Association with Stop Peru. During this webinar, they participated at a roundtable where they promoted strategic and practical actions towards inclusion. Besides, the National Port Administration was attended the webinars carried out by the CIP Secretariat in collaboration with the partner members and strategic partners. To offer and promote technical assistance in hemispheric conferences. So the National Port Company of Honduras is committed to the participation in activities to promote technical development within the framework of the public and private activities. In this sense, the National Port Company commits to attend and participate whenever necessary in all the hemisphere events where the presidencies of the technical advisory groups have participated in 2022 and will participate in 2023. This presidency recognizes the initiative of the National Port Authority of Peru in terms of gender perspective in the port sector. Honduras, because it's committed to gender equality and recognizing the main role that women have in the social and economical development of the hemisphere, has collaborated with and supported the survey, and would like to thank the member states for their participation. Finally, the National Port Company would like to congratulate and thank the work carried out by the CIP Secretariat in the translation of the environmental certification guidelines for the creation of sustainability reports for the Port of the Americas. This has been a tool that was used to carry out action and commitment of continuous improvement towards the planning and application of the structures of the guidelines. Thank you for your attention. I would like now to open the dialogue so that if you have comments, we can now move on.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you for the report. I don't know whether any delegations want to make any comments. You have 5 minutes to do so. May I have the floor? May I have the yes, go ahead, please. The third page was missing, and I'm going to read it because it's essential. Changes, amendments to the rules of the ICP. The National Port Company proposes an amendment of the regulations of the ICP so as to hold the ministerial meetings of the committee every 3 years, except instead of every 2 years. That will result in several benefits. We'll have 3 years instead of 2 to plan and to organize hemispheric events and more time to ensure the funds to organize those events. We would have fewer events, but we would save in trips and in tickets and per diems, and we would have more time to conduct and to update surveys and the databases of each TAG as set forth in the current plan. Fifth, more time to work on the compendium of successful practices on the TAG that is chaired by each country. Number 6, more time for the chair of the CIP or the ICP Executive Committee or for any of its members to propose and implement changes or projects for technical assistance. The Honduras National Port Company wishes to thank all the national port authorities that are part of CECIP to support the changes and the Secretariat of ICP for updating the regulations. So, and then maintaining the working group by each president of the TAG. So the Secretariat, together with the chair, has requested each of the presidents of the TAG for a working plan for 2023, highlighting the date and the modality of their hemispheric events, as well as and we ask them to send the material to the Secretariat so that we can compile the TAG material. We congratulate the chairs for their leadership and their commitment to implement the Buenos Aires Action Plan. Thank you. So now, yes, I give you the floor for you to make comments on this. Thank you. Go ahead, Juan, you have the floor. You may go on. Juan. You're muted, my dear Juan. Now that's right. I thank you for your report. Once again, we want to ask the delegations whether they want to make any comments. If there are none, we would now proceed to adopt it. So it's adopted. A very good report just presented by the delegation of Honduras has been adopted. Let's now listen to the logistics report, logistics, innovation, and competitiveness. We're going to give the floor to Mrs. Elvira Octavino, Secretary General of the Maritime Authority of Panama, as the chair of the TAG. You have the floor. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. First of all, I want to welcome all the members of the Executive Committee as well as Minister Buenos. We want to congratulate him from Panama. Now we will present the report of the TAG on logistics, innovation, and competitiveness. It's formed by the National Authority of Port Authority of Panama, Vice Chair, the United States, and members Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, the United States, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Dominican Republic, Uruguay, Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We have activities to be implemented from March 2022 to June 2023 in the context of the mandates that were set forth and in support of the activities for the strengthening of the technical capacities in continuity with the plan of actions. One, to have a database of experts of logistics of Panama who would contribute with the experience and advice related to competitiveness, innovation, and logistics, and it will be ready on March 14th, 2022, subject to the update to the first quarter 2023. The objective is to conduct capacity building of the members of ICP. And the responsible institutions is the Maritime Authority of Panama, and the output is to have a database accessible to all the stakeholders. So to organize every 2 years with the support of the ICP Secretariat, at least one conference or hemispheric seminar on the role and of the cybersecurity and competitiveness of the port facilities. It would be from April 18th to the 20th, 2023, and if the pandemic continues to be there, we will do it remotely. The objective is to offer a forum for the analysis and the exchange of the best practices and implementation of technologies of ITCTs to approach the vulnerabilities of our port facilities, and also to establish a forum to enable a discussion to develop the potential guidelines on cybersecurity for the ports and members of ICP, and to have a contact network. The responsible institutions would be Maritime Authority of Panama and the ICP Secretariat. Number 3, identify and to conduct and to compile the materials. So we have an that would include compiling the best practice on logistics, innovation, and competitiveness, and with the goal of submitting to the ICP Secretariat a list of materials, including photographs, presentations, and with to promote successful practices. The list of activities will be submitted not later than March 15th, 2023. The Maritime Authority of Panama will be responsible for it, and the output is to create a complete compiling of the best practices in the matter that will be available to all the stakeholders in our hemisphere. Thank you. Thank you for sending us this report. We congratulate Panama for the project, and hopefully we'll be able to see you in 2023 in Panama City. As to the report, we are open to the comments by the delegations today. Yes, if I may, very briefly. Yes, Jorge. Yes, because I want to make just one comment and not 6 or 7. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Hueso and Honduras for the way they have shown leadership in CIP, especially with this very useful amendments to the rules to change the frequency of our meetings every 3 years. And I want to congratulate the doctor because he tried hard for it to be ready at the meeting. And at the Secretariat, of course, we've had the reports by all of you, and I want to compliment Elvia, the AMP, for the work that you conducted and for the plans and this seminar that is planned for 2023 on logistics. And I'm saying the same to the rest of the technical advisory groups. My compliments, and I want to thank you for your trust. So I give you back the floor, Juan. Thank you. As there are no further comments, we adopt the report just presented by Elvia Ustavino of the Maritime Port Authority in Panama. So now the next speaker will be, well, listen to the report on sustainable port management and environmental protection. Let me give the floor to Ana Laura Lopez, Captain Ana Laura Lopez of the Marine Secretariat of Mexico as the president of her TAG. Ana Laura, it's a pleasure. So we'll be listening very attentively to your report. Thank you. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yes, perfect. Thank you. I'm very happy to greet you today and to be with you today. It's a pleasure to welcome you and to wish you the best success um, to Dr. Carlos Arturo Bueso, Minister and General Manager of the Honduras Port Administration. It's an honor for me to be sharing with you the activities that this Technical Advisory Committee on Sustainable Port Management and Environmental Protection has planned for future months. We are sure that the best practices and the experiences that all the members that are shared by all the members of this group will be for the best operations of our ports. We know that under the Buenos Aires Plan of Action, the general objective established was to move forward toward a competitive, safe, sustainable and inclusive port to ensure the comprehensive development of the Americas with the active participation of the private sector. So we want to collaborate through actions that may support all the ports in America, in the Americas. That is why we have started activities to strengthen technical abilities through the creation of a robust experts database of experts on port security with a list of experts on port security that will enable our community to get in touch with experts to exchange knowledge and capacities. We will have experts from all the regions and it will be available to all in November this year. Likewise, we are very happy to announce that with the support of the ICP Secretariat, we are moving forward preparing the 5th Hemispheric Conference on Sustainable Port Management and Environmental Protection. We are ready so that on May 25th and 26th, remotely, we will be able to offer you a platform to ensure public and private activities on strategic actions to promote the sustainable port and maritime management. We recognize the importance of an efficient and environmentally sustainable management of port operations and those factor in the economic growth and the development of the region. Finally, last but not least, we are working compiling best practices on sustainable port management and environmental protection. In the first quarter of 2023, we commit ourselves to send you a list of the materials to promote successful Mexican practices in related to sustainable port management and to compilate replicable practices and relevant material for the rest of the national port authorities. So showing what the ports in our countries have implemented to ensure the protection of the environment and sustainable management. So this is our report. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Captain, for your presentation. And we acknowledge the great work by Mexico. There's no doubt that is extremely important. So the event you are talking about will be a success. We're sure of that. And of course, it goes without saying that you have our support and collaboration. So now we open the floor for comments if you wish to make any about this presentation. Mexico, I only wanted to thank again the support of ICP and all your dedication to our delegation. No, thank you, Captain Lopez. So if there are no further comments about this report, then we'll proceed to adopt it. Good. So the report by Captain Lopez has been approved. Let's now listen to the next one on port protection and security. We are now going to give the floor to Mr. Carl Brandt, the manager of corporate development of Barbados Port, as the president of the TAC. So you have the floor, Mr. Brandt.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Technical Advisory Group on Port Security and Protection, first we congratulate the chair and recognize his ministerial rank. With that, on behalf of the delegation, chair on the tag of Port Security and Protection, Honorable Chair, I am pleased to share a brief summary of the activities implemented in the period May 2021 to March 2022, as outlined in our TAG activity report. First, in the context of the CIP project, Improved Disaster Risk Management for Caribbean Ports, and with the financial contribution of the governments of Italy and the United States, and in collaboration with the CIP Secretariat, the Peru National Port Authority, and the United States Coast Guard, we successfully held the first certified online workshop for improved disaster risk management in Caribbean ports. This was in November 1st and 2021. And we did this on the virtual port campus of the Peru National Port Authority. Now, the objective of this course was to provide participants with successful practices for efficient risk management in ports, and also to foster knowledge sharing among attendees on this particular subject matter. Lead instructors from the United States Coast Guard and Hudson Trident trained 28 port officials from 12 Caribbean nations in key matters such as disaster preparedness, response, recovery in ports, as well as business continuity. Second, we promoted knowledge sharing on port security matters, as well as to support our capacity building initiatives. The TAG chair, in collaboration with the CIP Secretariat, created an internal expert database that may provide contact information of subject matter experts, instructors, and other port security personnel. This database is continuously updated, and we would like to thank the CIP Secretariat for their invaluable support in this effort. Third, also through very important collaboration with the CIP Secretariat, we are pleased to report that the TAG chair and group has created and will continue to update a port security documents microsite on the CIP portal, which includes over 30 free handbooks, guides, templates, and training materials on port security matters. And finally, I'm pleased to inform that the TAG chair and group, in collaboration with the CIP Secretariat and the invaluable support from the United States government, through the OAS Permanent Mission of the United States, is eager to organize the 4th Hemispheric Conference on Port Security and Risk Management. This will be held in person later this year, probably at the end of August or early September. This conference will bring together industry leaders and port security experts with the objective of continuing to strengthen the port security capabilities in our region, and we look forward to seeing you there. With this, Honorable Chair, we conclude our activity report, and we thank you kindly for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, clearly the regional meetings are going to be very beneficiary to the different port authorities, especially in the Caribbean region. Right now, let's hope now that we can meet in Miami soon. I would also like to thank the United States for their invaluable support for the organization of this hemispheric event. I would like to ask the members if they have any comments or questions. Otherwise, we will adopt this report. So this report is now adopted. The report presented by CARP Branch. Right now we will move on to Argentina. This is Waterways, Inland and Cruise Ports, Mr. Jose Beni from the General Port Administration of Argentina. It is a pleasure, Jose, to have you here, and you have the floor. Thank you very much, Juan, Jorge. It is a pleasure to see you all. So our general framework that was defined in Buenos Aires is very well known by all of you. I would like to mention a little bit about the activities that we had in 2021. Of course, in 2021, we had the pandemic. And in that respect, we could focus on different training courses, virtual training courses, in spite of the problems we had. And we would like to mention the support that we had from the CIP Secretariat and from other countries and delegations. Especially, we had a course, the training course that took place last year together with the Port Administration of Paraguay. Was a virtual course about that had the purpose of developing the potentiality of the Latin American waterways for the transport of passengers and cargo. Of course, recognizing economic and regional integration, and these courses were able to do that. Then the Argentinian National Port Administration, through our training department, we carried out several online courses, especially 5 of them on different areas, especially in areas of decision-making, sustainable development, administrative processes. And we were able to provide training to 450 staff of the port national system. And clearly, I would like to thank all participants and delegations, especially Paraguay, that they were able to support us in the last semester. In terms of future activities, I would like to mention 2 activities. First would be the update of data in terms of information gathering by the different delegation through surveys or through different data gathering systems. And the idea would be to obtain information from experts so that we can create a database that could be available for all the CIP members and that could be consulted as of the second quarter of this year. Similarly, and in order to communicate this information for the second quarter of 2023, our idea would be to gather all this information, infographics in one place so that we can share experiences and projects and practices, good practices, so that we can all obtain feedback and provide feedback to the committee. Finally, and this is something that we already started and we will continue to do this, it would be to organize the fourth Hemispheric Conference on Waterways. We have already worked with the CIP for this. We will accelerate this process now. We hope to have this conference take place in June, between the 7th and 9th of June in Buenos Aires. And the idea would be to provide an international platform so as to promote the public and private communication about logistics and waterways in inland ports, and to share the successful experiences that we've had in waterways. We understand that waterways and ports are an important engine for the development of our economies, and we need to constantly identify challenges and opportunities provided by the system. This is now I would like to close my presentation by inviting you to please come to Buenos Aires on June 7th. We will be happy to see you in person and to have your active participation in the presentations and debates that we will have in this conference. Thank you very much. Juan, you have the floor again. Thank you very much, Jose, for your presentation. We would like to congratulate you for putting at our disposal the courses that you provide through your training organization. And I would like to also thank the support we've had from the Port Authority from Paraguay, especially in terms of the creation of the waterway training programs that is very important for our region. Thank you, Jose, again. So now we will open the floor in case some delegations would like to say anything or make comments. If there are no further comments now, Juan. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Juan, Jorge, and Jose Beni, and all the members of the Inter-American Committee. I would like to congratulate Jose Beni of the National Port Authority of Argentina, of Buenos Aires, and especially for paying special attention to waterways, because I know that he has dedicated time and effort to our group and for the organization of the fourth conference of waterways and cruises. So of course we will participate in June. We will accompany Jose in this event. So congratulations again for this report. And Paraguay is always at your disposal to cooperate with whatever is necessary. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Jose. So we will be happy to receive you all. And of course, from Uruguay, we will accompany the development of this waterway training course, an event that is so important for our countries. So we will certainly meet in June. Thank you. I take your word for it. So this report has then been adopted, and now we will move on to public policies and regulation from ANP Uruguay. And I will read that report. And I would like to say before that what Jose said, that of course this is a complicated environment. This is within a complicated framework. In our countries, we had difficult port activities that naturally have received the impact of the present situation and has affected the proposal we had for our action plan. So we understand that somehow we've had a complex process with the pandemic, and this complex process meant that the activity was affected. The general objective of the CDC within the framework of the action plan, Buenos Aires 2021-23, we set as the objective, as a general objective, to move forward competitive, safe, sustainable, and inclusive ports for the comprehensive development of the Americans and the participation of the private sector. It is divided into 6 main areas. The advisory technical groups that advise the Inter-American Committee on Ports, for decision-making, for more cooperation, for the strengthening of the capabilities and technical assistance of the CIP with the members, with the associate members and strategic partners, for the promotion of public and private alliances. The members of the CTC are the National Port Administration of Argentina, of Uruguay, Antigua, Argentina, Barbados, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, and Venezuela. The activities to be carried out from March 2022 to June 2023 involve the mandates set by the presidency of the CTC and the strengthening of technical capacities and the plan of action to update the surveys and databases. The databases have to do with the objective of providing technical advice to the authorities through a database in what has to do with port legislation. The institutions on the National Port Administration and the CIP Secretariat. And the objective would be to create a database of experts in port legislation and regulation that would be available at the end of the first quarter of 2023. This is important to keep in mind. Secondly, to organize in the next 2 years with the support of CIP Secretariat at least one hemispheric conference in the areas of the technical advisory groups in terms of public policies, legislation, and regulation. The date we're thinking of possibly between September and November 2022 in Colonia del Sacramento, Uruguay. The objective would be to provide an international platform for the dialogue regarding strengths and challenges within the port and maritime legal framework and on successful practices in the hemisphere. The institutions would be the National Port Administration and the CIP Secretariat. Thirdly, the objective would be to identify and carry out the gathering of materials on the relevant topics of the advisory groups and in digital and printed way. Then the activity would be best practices in terms of legislation. The objective would be to send in the first quarter of 2023, the first list of materials, including photographs, presentations, infographics, with the objectives of promoting successful practices in terms of legislation and areas that could be of interest to the different areas. The responsible institutions would be AMP and the CIP Secretariat. The result is to create information with success, case studies in terms of legislation, photographs, infographics, presentations, and specific actions carried out in Uruguay. So this could be a source of information and practices for the rest of the authorities of the national authorities, and that would be the end of my brief report of the advisory groups in terms of public policies, legislation, and regulation. If there are no further comments, then we will adopt this report.
All right, so the report is adopted. So now the presentation by the report on port cities, social responsibility, and gender equality. Mr. Patiño, President of the Board of the National Ports of Peru. Mr. Patiño, you have the floor. Good morning, everybody. How are you? As you know, the objective of our objective is to support guidelines for the government and private to create opportunities to improve the relations between the city and the port through work and family, and also by incorporating the right to equality in the port sector. So the activities that we have conducted from May 21 to March 22 have been we have collected all your information, and we have included in a document all the progress made. 2 editions have been published. Another activity that in my view is very good, and I think that has been very successful working with you and with ICP, all the secretariat, has been the courses. The courses have dealt, all the committees have been organized the courses, logistics for environmental protection, port security in the Caribbean. It was done very well together with the committees and the ICT. And then the waterway, that was very important, and also public policies. I think that all that set of courses will go on. We're going to go on working with you. And in my view, the courses are extremely important in related to the improvement of the port system and the logistics of the port system. So we need to go on working together. And then another activity, what we want to do now is to work this year updating the databases of the women in the port. It is very important to have a baseline, and this is the support that we demand from you for this to happen. And then we are going to have an activity in the 3rd Hemispheric seminar on between September 6th and 7th, 2022, remotely. And I think that there, the objective will be not just gender responsibility, gender equality and social responsibility that have always been very important in the development of the port systems around the world, but in my view, the integration of port, safety and logistics communities is of absolute importance. That's an item that we are going to develop much, much further. And I think that at the time we'll have, by then we'll have a good baseline so that we can all work with that. I'm firmly convinced of the importance of this. So, and from then we will go on with our newsletters and with the courses. And the courses will be successful if you support us. So that would be all. And once again, I want to express my thanks to Mr. Jorge Duran and Juan Curvelo, and also to welcome Mr. Carlos Bueso, and hopefully we will continue working in this line as we've done in the past. Thank you, Adrian, for your presentation. Once again, compliments to the National Port Authority of Peru for the several opportunities for training that they have offered to the national port authorities in the hemisphere throughout these years. As to the report, is there anybody that wants any comments? You can request the floor. As there are none, we will now approve the report and wrap up this first session. So if you all agree, let us start with the second plenary session, the executive report of the activities of the Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee on Ports, January 2021, March 2022, in the plan under the Plan of Action of Buenos Aires 2021-2023, the financial reports of the Special Ports Program, and the operational budget for 2023. So now let us go to the second plenary session. Now, Mr. Jorge Duran, head of the Secretariat of ICP, and he will give us the executive report from January 2021 to March 2022, and the activities report. He will tell us about the financial statements of the different advisory groups. So, Jorge, it's a pleasure for us to hear you as you present the report. Thank you, Juan. And I also want to thank Elvia, who started, and also Lopez and all the presidents of the TAGs. I want, in the name of the Secretariat, I want to thank you for your trust. Now, before we start the report, let me especially thank the APN Peru, Edgar, for his generosity. And let me also mention not just the Correa and his international team, but also El Salvador and his training team, because it was thanks to their generosity and their support that we managed to get the results that we are going to show now, and especially future activities. Let me call your attention on the timetable project, the agenda or the program, to tell you that in this presentation that I'm now going to give, I'm going to give you not just the activities report, but also the report on the budget and presenting the operational budget for next year. So I'm going to put everything together. So if you agree, let me then share my screen and show you that. There's a lot of information. We've been very busy, so I'm going to be quite quick. I'm going to go as fast as I can. So please pay attention to see what we have on the screen so that we can make the most of it. So please, could you tell me whether you can see the presentation? I'm sharing the screen. Just wait a second. I think that I'm not sharing it well. So let me try again. Could you please let me know whether you see it? Yes, we see it. Indeed. Yes, good. Good. So let me. There you are, right? Yes. Well, so let's get started. We are going to see these 6 items that are the objectives of the Secretariat that are promoting political dialogue. This is a political dialogue meeting. The scholarship, the grants program, technical assistance, cooperation, alliances, financial reports and activities 2022. So except for the So Buenos, the rest of us here, and except for Elvia, we were there at the 12th meeting that was held. It was going to be held in Buenos Aires, but because of the pandemic, it was remote. And we had 27 members attending of ICP OAS. So both the resolution and the plan of action and the 2021-2022 budgets were adopted, and also the reports that you have here. And they proposed the venue and the date for the next meeting. This is one of them, the 22nd meeting of CICIP in March 2022, that, as Curbelo said, it was going to be live, and we had to do it remote. And the other one is the proposal by Honduras to hold the 23rd meeting of CICIP and the 13th of the full CIP in Honduras. And as you know, we had elections. This chart shows you the current makeup of CICIP, and well, Honduras is present, so is Uruguay. Antigua and Barbuda are not here, but we have Panama, the United States, Barbados, Uruguay, Argentina, and Peru. So we're all here. Thank you for your hard work and the plans of action that you have just discussed. Item number 2, grants and training. Thanks to the National Port Authority of Peru, we could offer 840 grants for 31 certified courses for the staff of 30 member states, with about 40 people that attended. Here you have the courses that were given online. You see that there were all sorts of topics, decision-making, logistics, lawmaking, security, so there was a bit of everything. And always with the support, for instance, Juan Carlos Muñoz Mena, whom I thank again for his so important collaboration for the waterways course. We also had 17 webinars. You participated in several. And I want to thank Peru, APN, Edgar, and his team, because I bothered them so much asking them to talk about their PCS. And you see that 28 member states, more than 3,000 officials, and a vast range of topics discussed. Here you have a summary of the 2 previous slides, the certified courses and the webinars on the other hand, and they are available. Of course, the presentation will be available later. Now, in item 3, technical assistance, the green ports guideline. I want to thank again Mexico for the invaluable financial and technical support that they gave us to develop this guideline for environmental certification that you can find both in English and in Spanish, free of charge at the ICP portal. And thank you to Mona Swoboda of the Secretariat, whom I thank. We managed to reach an agreement with Barbados, with the representatives of Barbados, with Barbados Port Inc. and the Caribbean Development Bank to conduct this study for a port community system development in Barbados. We are doing fine, and you'll be able to listen about it later. We are also starting a second project, this one with funding by the United States. Thank you, Lonnie and Christina, for your support. I also want to thank the mission, the OAS mission, and very importantly, the government of Italy, who funded the project that you see on the screen that was developed to produce an emergency plan for port emergencies or response of preparedness, port preparedness. Here you see the financial support of 2 countries, but also the institutional support of the agencies involved, ranging from the US Coast Guard down to the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency. We conducted a survey, and that was analyzed. Then we had the draft plan for operations that's available in the portal, and we held the first regional workshop on this topic, and in the future we'll go on with the training. Last year we launched a call for the license of software that was won by the Lázaro Cárdenas Port Administration in Mexico. And when I was talking with the Director General of Lázaro Cárdenas, they are working wonderfully. So we continue to publish the journal CIP. Now it's digital, but we will ask you all in this call, in the team, we're going to get in touch with you to request you to continue to write articles as Edgar Patino did, and all those who already wrote for this. The monthly newsletter that is not the same as the gender newsletter. Here we have different courses and activities reported, and this is the digital newsletter by APN. It's the 8th edition. It's available in the website. During the pandemic, we tried very hard in our portal to include the recommendations and for the different protocols to prevent any infections in the ports. Remember, the ports were never closed. So that demanded the use of almost half. Not only did port authorities enter, but people in general. There you see the website. I'm skimming through this. And the fourth is the promotion activities, the advocacy activities. We have the Americas, the Maritime Award. Here you have three of the 4 categories: port-city relationship, digitation, automation, and technological transformation, and finally, disaster management and continuity of port operations. And the award, the Maritime Award of the Americas, recognizes outstanding women in the maritime sector. And once again, I must congratulate Captain Ana Laura Lopez Bautista from Mexico, because she was elected for this award, and Mariela Gutara from Peru for her honorable mention. So our compliment. So we also had a joint award with APA and CIP. Those of you in November last year, you must have seen my video when I announced this award. We have more advocacy activities. I'm going to go a bit faster in advocacy activities where I was invited to participate as an expert. Here you have 7 of such events that I had the honor of participating and representing you. Memorandum of understanding and agreements. I must thank Seveni and Edgar Patino for allowing me to sign a memorandum of understanding for the grants of Singapore. And I also want to thank the Maritime Policy Bureau of the private sector for the support of the courses, and of course, Edgar, the complementary agreement that we signed a few months ago to ensure that these courses will be continued online. There was an exchange of memberships that was harmonized last year with these 3 organizations, 2 of them to promote the engagement of women. WIMAC Barbados, and an MOU was signed with WIMAC Americas that sponsors this. And let me tell you that also with Red Mambla, and Elvia Bustavino is the president of Red Mambla. So we've been in touch for the two events that I'm going to mention now. And finally, with International Port Community Systems Association, IPSA, with whom we've held joint webinars on the port community system, and we'll hold additional 2 this year. In terms of associate partners, we have these 9, some of them as a result of the awards, because you know that the Americas Award has one, but it's important to have these associate members that that contribute, even though maybe not with so many resources. This is the draft, because the OAS Administrative Department has not yet issued the final versions, although it's March, but nothing will change. This was adopted, and of course, here you must see that we are about to begin the term with enough money for our operations to do our job. You know that at the Secretariat, I'm not counting the grants and donations now we're going to see in the budget for 2023. This the money is is obtained thanks to the contributions of you, the national committees.
Here you can see that we have a smaller amount, is lower, but we still can manage to meet our objectives here. And I would like to thank you, to thank all of you for please remembering to pay for your contributions. And of course, I would like to thank those of you that have already paid. This document has been sent to you beforehand in the previous months. You already, it's important to see that our budgets are basically the same every year. It's important to see that the Secretariat expenses, as we promised, continue to be about 25% of the resources received. In this case, it's 24.2. So it's important to realize that we have received important contribution through scholarships, and that has increased the value of our budget. As you know, when I joined ICP, I asked you not to send the money, simply to record the contributions that you were making. So the budget has not changed significantly since last year. It's here, you can see the document, and of course I am at your disposal if you have questions in terms of the courses that we have carried out. Here you can see the 4 courses that took place online with the Port of Buenos Aires. We have granted 70 scholarships to 12 countries. You probably also received this safety survey. The purpose of that was to identify those areas in terms of port management that are important to you. I would like to specifically thank Captain and the Marine Secretariat of Mexico for their support that they have supported us for the last 2 years. I would like to thank you again, especially Captain Gerardo Almonacid. We will be sending you more information in terms of the survey. We'll be sending you an article because we want to have this page. We want this page to be stronger and to have more content. From April to December, we are considering to have at least 10 different virtual courses, 11 webinars, and to support the hemispheric conferences that have been already presented by the technical groups in terms of waterways, Peru in September, protection and security in Miami, and finally, the ANP will organize a hemispheric conference in November. Finally, in terms of activities, I would like to mention the technical advisory groups activities, 2 projects, one that has to do with risk and disaster management, then the port and community system in Barbados, and then we are studying the possibility of doing the same for Belize, so that the Caribbean Development Bank can do that for Belize. As besides, of course, the survey on safety and security. We are working right now on a memorandum of understanding with the University of Chile to carry out training in order to be able to offer a master's degree in port management for Latin America. And in that respect, we've been working towards this objective. We would like to thank CENAVE, the Uruguayan National Navigation Center, because they have supported us in this respect. We continue with our promotional activities. And if the pandemic enables for this, we can have 2 courses in person, one in France in terms of port operations and the other one on the important issue of women in port management. Because if there is not a new strain or variant of the virus, we will be able to do this in person. And we will have the support of the Spanish Port Authority in terms of port management and technology operations and management in Santander. We have granted 20 scholarships. So I would like to stop my presentation, and I don't want to bore you anymore with this long presentation. And thank you so much for your attention. I try to make it as quickly as possible so that we can keep track of our time. I think that I did it. And as I said before, this would be 3 of the items on the agenda. Thank you very much, Jorge, for your presentation. It's very clear that 2021 was a very active year for ICP. And firstly, I would like to congratulate the work of the Secretariat in terms of consolidation, increase of scholarships and training. And as you said, Jorge, this is a record number this year. Also to recognize technical assistance and hemispheric cooperation for port cooperation horizontal systems and for the consolidation of the strategic alliances. And all of this within the framework of a very complex year, difficult because of the pandemic. So once again, Jorge, I would like to thank you and congratulate you for the work you have done that has led to the improvement of port development in our region. So I would like to open the floor now for the different delegations in case you have comments or questions. Yes, I have a comment. Yes. I would like to thank you all for your trust and to thank all the members of the Secretariat for your dedication and commitment for the long hours that you have put into this innovation system. Mona Montserrat, Sabina Manis, and all the ones that have provided the support and training. Now I would like to welcome Monica Blanco and the captain and Allende. Without these team members, we wouldn't have been able to provide these and to achieve these results. Thank you again. Thank you, Jorge. On behalf of the team, yes, I would like to congratulate you again and thank you for the work that you all have carried out in 2021. Is there any delegation that would like to take the floor now? Okay, if there are no further comments, we can continue, Jorge. And the members of the Secretariat, congratulations again for the work that you have done. Sorry, Juan, I see that Ruben had a question. So maybe we can give the floor to Ruben. Yes. Yes, I had raised my hand. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I would like to congratulate you all, as well as Juan, for the work that you have carried out. Jorge, you and your team, for the training, for the interaction, for the strengthening of our ports within the framework of the Americas. I would like to express my thanks to the ICP, to congratulate you, to wish you that you continue to work this strongly, to wish you health, that you continue to work on behalf of port integration as you have. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Ruben, for your words. I see Honduras that is also raising your hand, please. I would like to say that I have to leave this meeting because I have a board meeting right now. But I would like to tell you that you are most welcome in June to the island of Roatan, to the meeting that we'll have. And I hope that you can all attend. We will be happy to host you. And so that your stay and the event are a success for all of us. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for attending, for your attendance, for the confirmation of your generous offer to be the host of the third ICP meeting in Roatan. That is clearly a paradise. And I'm sure that all of us here and the rest of the countries that are not present here would love to attend. And thank you very much for your confirmation. I understand that Mr. Franco will be replacing you. Yes, he will be the General Secretary of the institution. Thank you. Then, well, we welcome Mr. Franco, and we now thank you again. Thank you. Sorry again that I had lost my connection for a while. I don't know if you were taking the floor. If not, then we will consider the report adopted, the report presented by Jorge Duran between January and March 2022, as well as the budget presented by, and the operational budget 2022-2023. Sorry, Juan. Just to tell you, Dr. Bueso had to leave. He left Mr. Franco Eminence on his behalf. He ratified the information to hold the third meeting in Roatan. And I think Mr. Kisiyama from the United States has raised his hand. Yes, I heard the representative of Honduras. We are 9 people here in this room, and we have all registered for this event, clearly. So yes, go ahead.
Lon, go ahead, please.
Yes, the United States would just like to join Mexico in thanking the National Port Authority of Uruguay for holding the 22nd meeting of the Executive Board of the Inter-American Committee on Ports. So I just wanted to add our thank you for their hosting.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else would like to make any other comment? So then we adopt the report presented by Jorge Duran. We again congratulate him for the work that he carried out last year, he and his team. And now we will move on to the third plenary session. So the third plenary session has started. We have to talk about the preparations for the 13th ordinary meeting of the ICP to be carried out in 2023. And in order to make good use of our time, I would like to remind you that the ICP Secretariat already shared the proposal. And we hope that you have read the document. I would like to ask you and the delegates if you have comments about this document. If there are no comments, then the proposal is adopted. Let's move on then. Jorge, you just mentioned that Honduras has confirmed the hosting of the 13th ordinary meeting, and because Mr. Bueso is not here, we will give the floor now to whoever is representing him. Yes, this is Mr. Franco Mirense. You have the floor. This is basically just to confirm what Mr. Bueso has said. Good afternoon, members of this group. I'm Franco Mirense. I'm the General Secretary of the National Port Authority. I would like to ratify what Mr. Bueso said. We would like to confirm our country and island Roatan as the venue for the next ordinary meeting. We will be working together, organizing the meeting, and so as to be able to coordinate your stay so that you have a pleasant stay in our island and you can help us maybe promote our country as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Franco. Thank you very much for your offer. Of course, we accept it, we will share it, and we would like to ask the highest port authorities of the OAS to participate in this 13th ordinary meetings, where not only we will have elections for CIP, but also important changes will be taking place, as we will see in the next session. So I would like to ask you all and invite you to participate and invite Honduras to for their proposal. If there are no further comments, we are now finishing the third plenary session, and we will be starting with the fourth plenary session to consider and approve the resolution of Colonia del Sacramento as a venue. So, Jorge, I can read the resolution of Colonia del Sacramento. Would you like me to read that? We have sent those documents already. They have been read and everybody has received them. And we have already asked if anybody had any comments about these documents, and all of them, not only, they all sent very good comments. We have received official comments, including from Mexico and the United States, approving the documents already. So from that moment until now, some things have changed. Maybe they changed the drafting or something like that. But basically they have been adopted. So if that is the case, and as you just said, the documents were sent on February 1st. We sent the reports, we sent the resolutions that were presented by the delegation of Uruguay. And it is true that all the delegations were able to analyze these reports, so we're not going to read them. And if there are no further comments, then we can adopt the resolution of Colonia del Sacramento. So unfortunately, the name is Colonia del Sacramento, but nobody could attend. So it's just the name, unfortunately. Yes, I'm sure we will be able to drink a Tanat wine together soon.
So there have been no objections. So Colonia Sacramento has been approved. No objections. Any comments about this? Is there none? Let's then go to, let's close this 22nd meeting of the CIP. If I'm not wrong, I think that Mexico is requesting the floor. Go ahead, Captain Ana Laura Lopez of the delegation of Mexico. She's requesting the floor. Thank you. Thank you for giving me any opportunity to address the Commission. As a member of the Executive Committee of the Inter-American Committee on Ports and working in sustainable ports and environmental protection, let me thank the government of Uruguay. The Inter-American Port Commission, considering that thanks to the work by the government of Uruguay that successfully organized the 22nd meeting of the Executive Committee of ICP, and so that we could hold this meeting. That session had the invaluable support of the Secretariat of ICP, who have done instrumental work for this to be true, with the active representation of the member countries that have supported the work at this meeting. So resolves the following. First of all, we want to thank the government of Uruguay, specifically the National Port Authority, for their contribution to the success in the organization of the 22nd meeting of CECIP. Second, to express our gratefulness to the General Secretariat of the Organization of American States, specifically the ICP, for their contribution to the meeting of CIP. And finally, to express our thanks to the representatives of the countries that with whose participation contributed to the success of this meeting. Thank you for your attention. I think that Lon Kishiyama of the United States is requesting the floor. Lon, you have the floor.
I had the schedule a little bit mixed up, and I actually did a thank you earlier, but I'll go ahead and state that thank you again. The United States joins Mexico in thanking the National Port Authority of Uruguay for holding the 22nd meeting of the Executive Board of the Inter-American Committee on Ports. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to add any comments? Well, so I want to thank Capitan Lopez Bautista and Loni Kishiyama for their support vote. And I once again want to extend my compliments to the Secretariat of the CIP and for all of the team who organized this meeting seamlessly. I know there's a lot of work behind it, and this makes life much easier for us. So let's now start with the closing session of this activity. Let me thank all the members that have participated, and now I'll recognize Jorge Duran, who will draw the conclusion of this 22nd meeting of CICIP. Jorge, you have the floor. Ready. Thank you, Juan. Thank you. And I also want to thank your team. Thank you for chairing this meeting, and thank you for the support that each and all of you have given us. My friend Yancy and Juan Carlos and Ruben of ANNP were always trying to support. Elvia's support, representing the MP, and we're going to have her at a webinar by the end of the month. And then Captain Lopez Bautista from Mexico. This has, and the support of Peru and the United States with Barbados, who contributed in Miami with the event. Each and all of the CICIP members, I want to express my thanks. It's important to recognize the importance of Honduras and the company coming back to this meeting to CICIP. So Franco will discuss it later. So thank you. And I want to thank the doctor for having come today to today's meeting, because it was very important. So I think that all the objectives of the meeting have been fulfilled. The reports by the chair and the presidents of the technical advisory groups have been adopted, and the financial reports and the budget for 2023. It was thanks to the confirmation of Honduras, we also confirmed the 23rd meeting of CICIP in the Paradise in the island of Roatán, 2023 in Roatán, Honduras. So there you have the contents of everything that has been said. I'm so happy. Not only are we closing the session in time, but it's early. Elvia said that she loves the way we organize the meetings. It's thanks to the work of everybody. It's important to send the papers to the participants ahead of time so that they can read it before, so it won't take all morning. So Juan at ANP, thank you for your support as the vice president. And I also want to thank the green team. Please open your cameras so that we can see you. And the United States, thank you for the support. I want to thank everybody. It's been a pleasure to participate in this meeting. You all have excellent marks. It's so you can ask your teacher to stick a star here on your forehead. And thank you, Juan, for your leadership, and the rest of you for all your support. So I say goodbye, thanking you all for your support and your cooperation. Thank you. Thank you, Jorge. Our greetings to all.
Thank you, Jorge.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Gracias, muchos saludos.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Toca tomarse un tequilita a mi salud, paisana, pero bueno. Juan, creo que te queda.
Juan, I think that you just have to close the meeting following the protocol, and then we'll be done. Your mic, Juan. Well, as the first Vice President of CECIP, I thank you all for participating. And so I hope we can meet again very soon. Thank you for the reports. Thank you, Jorge. I want to thank all your team too. So as you very well said, we are wrapping up the session in time. Having completed our job, I think that it was very fruitful work and hence highly beneficial for what we are aiming at, that is the development of our ports, working jointly, exchanging experiences and sharing our realities and lessons learned. And if we work together jointly, this is a fascinating work at ports. If we continue to work as we are working now, there's no doubt that we will fulfill that all our expectations. So without further ado, thank you for coming, and I wish you all a good evening. Thank you.
Real ID is a passionate and committed team. Through entertainment technology, we contribute to our clients' social and professional development. We offer a comprehensive service that responds to new challenges and has established our active international presence. We provide our clients with the right balance between their needs and our platform's optimal performance. We seek precise solutions for the continued use of legacy systems and, where appropriate, development of required applications. Real ID has grown thanks to the port and maritime industry's safety and security needs. Each of our modules are managed by a simulated artificial intelligence called Sole, capable of learning scenarios and finding solutions according to the end user's requirements.